My son is Gibran. He's 3 years old. He was diagnosed with the first stages of autism, a lot of repetitive movement, a nonverbal communication. He had a lot of problems with his valve movement. So he went through a special course at the age of 3 at a school at Salem, Virginia, and they've been working with him through a system of pictures. But we thought that he wasn't really developing as we agreed before. So we more or less, I started researching about his condition. So then that led me to believe what was the cause of his state. So I got in contact with Dr. Jari and I told him a little bit about my son's condition. And he said, I think it's best if you bring him in so we can evaluate him and then we can give you a type of treatment that is going to help him. He wanted to see him at least for a month, but we don't have that much time. So he decided to take him in for a period of 2 weeks with the treatment during the morning and one in the afternoon. The first three days, we felt that he was changing a little bit. He was doing some other stuff that Dr. Jari wanted him to do, like for example, a lot of movement in the right hand. Before, he only had one type of movement, which was this movement with the cry. After the third treatment, we started seeing that there was no more of this movement, but he had this kind of movement with a certain structure, like he was really thinking about what was he trying to do. So I came back on the fourth day of treatment with Dr. Jari and I told him, something, we see this change in him. And then he said, very, very good. Monitor to see what other movements that does your child do. So then we saw that he used to see a lot lines with his eyes. He was fixed on lines, but it was a repetitive movement from one side to another. In the fifth day, we saw that that our child was limiting those movements. There was not a constant movement anymore. We did see him maybe doing it maybe like once or twice, but not 6, 7 times the way he was engaged before he entered this treatment. Then his eating habits, he wouldn't eat at all. We had a lot of problems with him. So Saturday, after one week of treatment, he started eating much better. He started to drink more water. We couldn't get him to do that before. Never water. It was just juices. So then Dr. Jari said, keep him out of the juice and give him water. So that was a significant change, and that was very important for the child because that will more or less flush out all of the metals that Dr. Jari is actually working with him. Another a significant change that we saw in my little boy is that he's becoming to be a little bit more verbal, communicative. We don't see yet a one single word syllable, but there's a lot of different sounds that he's making. Before, maybe 3 sounds only, but now he's making a whole variety of sounds. And the most important change, I believe, is the eye contact. There was never an eye contact with him. And Monday's treatment, he looked at Dr. Jari, at my wife, and at myself. He looked at us in one single time. So that was very amazing for us. That's something that he never did. It's very early at this point because he only has 1 week and we only have a period of 2 weeks with Dr. Jari. He would have loved to see my little boy for at least a month, but because we don't have that much time, we are seeing, significant changes before he came in and what the treatment has done to him at this point. I am stunned because at the beginning, I think I was skeptical. I was very skeptical about this, and of all of the evaluations that my boy had actually gone through, we never really got any positive results. So then when my sister Maria told me about Dr. Jari, I was kind of skeptical. I said, well, a lot of professionals have seen him and they all say the same story. They all tell the same story. So I told my wife, we'll just give it a try. we'll give it a try and let's see how things develop. So this is why. But I think the most important thing of bringing him here, or what actually convinced us the most, it was my niece. We saw a 360-degree change in her. So that actually convinced me at the end. Okay, let's make the move and let's see how my little boy is going to respond to the treatment. So up to this point, he has been responding quite well to it. Since Saturday, we've seen this significant change in him as well. He's very calm. Before, he was too hyper, running up and down, jumping on sofas. No, a lot of hyperactivity. We couldn't really stop him at all, and if we stop him, then he will cry, he will get frustrated. That was another thing he was developing. He was getting frustrated at least 3 or 4 times a day, and that was something that we saw about 6 months ago. And we took him back to the teacher, his classroom teacher, and we told him about that kind of a situation. So the teacher said, yeah, we've been seeing this in him, that he's developing maybe around 2 or 3 times a day in a period of 4 hours, that he's becoming angry about nothing. Or if we stop him in his repetitive movements, then he becomes very angry. At this point, we haven't seen that at all. So since Saturday up to this point, very relaxed, very calm, walks normally. Also, we don't see him jumping on sofas anymore. So that is a very, very important thing for us. Another thing that we have to continue is feeding him with the organic food. So that's another key element, and giving him water, because water, according to Dr. Jari, helps him flush all of the metals that he has in his system. I am very happy that we made that decision, coming here, because otherwise I think his condition would have worsened. And according to the research that I made, if we don't treat this condition right now, he will be developing other serious physical issues and mental issues at the same time. So I'm very glad that we made this decision with him.